most of the trading content is going just a theory or a flex these days on internet. But today I have brought a guy who's been in these markets for 5 years. He's been through drawdowns. He have seen technical gurus, those technical analysis gurus come and go and all that stuff. And he will tell you a lot of stuff today related to future trading. So you might want to see the full video. It will help you a lot in trading. So before beginning, hope you're doing well. So nice to meet you.
I'm doing very good. Thanks for inviting me for this chit chat, and happy to be here.
Mhm. Perfect. So can you give a brief introduction about yourself and your career?
Sure. Uh, so
Mhm.
I've been on this earth for a very long time, as you can see from my very nice silver hair.
Yeah.
So
Yes, sir.
basically did the pretty much the standard things that most people do. Studied, got a job, and have been on the corporate bandwagon for a very long time. And
Mhm.
uh, after 20-25 years, I realized that there is a shelf life for my corporate career, and I need to do something different. And
Mhm.
luckily or fortunately, I was in the US at the time, and this was 2018-19 when I decided to actually trading whilst I was still working in.
Perfect.
So yeah, it's been a while since I have been doing trading, but unlike most people, unlike you for sure, I've actually
Mhm.
spent a lot of time beyond trading, and then trading is fairly new for me from that perspective.
Perfect. So how did you start trading and why future specifically?
Uh, I mean, I actually started trading by looking at a few people online, and I encountered a few who basically said that they had a very simple system whereby you can click buttons and make money. So that was
Yeah.
that I fell into, and I'm sure that most people who are listening into this podcast would have also done the same. I had started
Yeah.
trading penny stocks in the US, then realized that
Mhm.
I am not really up for it. Although I made a bit of a windfall early on, but that was a bit again a pull into the market, and then basically pulled me in and helped me try. And then over a period of time, I realized that there are better ways to trade, and there are better markets to trade. And futures was one of those markets that I considered, and I've kind of once I dig dived into it, I thought that was really good for me. And also for
Okay.
the time, there were prop firms that were kind of popping up. So I realized that
Mhm.
futures plus prop firm money would be a good combination, and that was basically how I kind of got into futures, to be honest.
Okay. So what was your 5 or 6 months like in the beginning and how did you deal with the losses and how did you deal with all that stuff, the situation?
Sure. I mean, I had a very long period of losses, very long period of account blowouts. So, I mean, initially, I think the time was spent in figuring out what I wanted to do in terms of a system to trade. And whilst I was in this system or process discovery mode, obviously I was losing money every single day. I was blowing accounts that I was buying in terms of the evaluations. And then there did come a time where I kind of started passing evaluations, but then I wasn't able to still hold on to my funded accounts. So the losses continued for a long time, to be honest, Nixon. So I would say roughly I started trading prop firms in 2021. And until 2023, I was basically buying evals and failing evals and passing evals and blowing funded accounts as well. So all in all, I would say I've blown hundreds of evals, and I would have blown pretty much at least 100 funded accounts as well, to be honest.
Okay. What made you stay in the markets when most of the people cut this game after losing one or three evaluation accounts or losing that phone fees?
I would probably say that luckily in this case, my previous experience, my corporate experience, kind of helped me simply because I've been in sales for a very long time, and in sales you tend to lose more than win. Okay,
Yeah, that's right.
so I was fairly conversant with losing, knowing that the very patient game and it's a long term game. So that was one. And the other thing which I've also known for a long time is that, I mean, like if I give an example of a commercial pilot, uh, you know,
Yeah.
only after flying thousands of hours of simulation will a junior, will a pilot be given a seat in the actual aircraft and then be shadowed with a captain to fly. So it takes a long time to
Exactly.
fly, right? So I knew that trading has to be given that much importance simply because the reason why we all are trading is to actually make life changing, opportunity. It's life changing opportunity. So it's not going to be that simple.
It is.
Although
Yep.
we all feel it is simple, but we once you kind of get into that rhythm, you realize that it takes a bit of time. So
Exactly.
I think just the preparation based on my previous experience and just a bit of awareness of what happens.
Yeah. Just because you're marketing stuff, because marketing isn't even easy.
Yes, exactly. So luckily for me,
So
that was something that was drilled into me in a way. So it helped me kind of maintain a bit of balance and expectations. But the other flip side is the fact that I did have a corporate job and I was earning pretty well. So losing money on the side was not that bit of a big of a pinch. But in hindsight, just because I had that cushion, I took a bit longer, I would assume, rather than focusing and not worrying about or not really, you know, uh, using the cushion as a medium to support myself. That, so I should have cut my losses earlier, but just because I had a cushion because of my fat salary, I probably blew a bit than I should have.
exactly, that's right. So uh, nice story. So let's come to the psychology part next.
Sure.
So first question is, what's the hardest mental challenge you have ever faced in future trading?
Hmm. Uh, so I think there are stages to challenges in a way. So for example, I think the first challenge for me was to kind of find an edge. I wanted to basically figure out something that worked for me. So the first challenge was to kind of find something that I could latch onto and say, yeah, this is something that I can relate to and trade that system or a process. So frankly speaking, a large portion of my time was spent in figuring out my edge. So that was one of the biggest challenges. And then once I found the edge, I realized that that wasn't the end of it. Once I found the edge, I realized that from an execution perspective, I was still pretty poor. So if I were to probably call up two or three major issues with execution, one was over trading. I mean, I was basically sitting the whole day and trying to press buttons and trade and trade and trade. And there were days when I would
Mhm.
make many multiple $1,000, and there were days where I would lose multiple $1,000 just because I was over trading. So I realized that that's not going to work. So I had to figure out a way to change that mode of just constantly trading. And then once I figured, once I kind of solved that challenge, I then realized that the prop firm rules and the prop firm environment are also challenging. And I realized that the rules that are basically drawn up by the prop firms are really something that we need to be mindful of when we are trading. So
Yeah,
we need to be one step ahead of the prop firm's rules uh, to overcome
exactly.
this. So ultimately, the idea is to actually withdraw money. And although I was passing challenges, I wasn't able to withdraw money for a while. So again,
Yeah,
so from finding an edge to fixing up your execution or over trading to really making money in a proper environment, all of those were actually challenges that I had to kind of overcome, to be honest.
do you still feel emotional while trading, or is it robotic now?
I wish it was. I would say it isn't robotic, but it is
Hmm.
fairly predictable now. I'm fairly more comfortable now, simply because of the fact that I'm happy to lose a certain amount every day and stop myself. So I was not able to stop myself. So coming to your question on emotions, so whether it is emotional or robotic, I would say it
Hmm.
is still, but it is robotic in the sense that if I lose a certain amount, I stop for the day. So in that sense, it's robotic. But I would still have to, I'm okay emotionally with a small loss. At the same time, I'm okay with a reasonable amount of gain. I am so from an emotion perspective, I have basically found a balance between losing a small amount and winning a small amount. Uh, so
Totally.
since it is robotic, but it still hurts. I mean,
If someone is facing mindset issues, if someone is facing mindset issues and he's blowing accounts continuously. What would be your advice to him, real, the brutal one?
I mean, I can actually, I can kind of give you brutal advice, which is just to open up yourself. So, for example, when I was losing accounts, when I was making bad mistakes, what I realized was I ended up recording myself, recording my trades, and sharing
Mhm.
it with
Yeah.
my trading buddies to get feedback from them. Because what happens is sometimes you lose a lot, and you kind of lose sight of
Yeah.
that goal. And it's always important
Yes.
to figure out, to get an opinion from people who matter to you. So I was fortunate enough to have trading buddies. So they were kind of my bouncing board. So sometimes you may not be able to find answers yourself. So you should go out and kind of put yourself out there. So if anyone wants to kind of find a solution, I would suggest record your video, record your trades, make a YouTube channel just like you have. Put your trades online. Okay, let people comment on it.
Yeah.
Trading. I know that
Mm.
there will be stupid comments. Ignore them, and find some people who can actually give you right advice if you don't have advice.
Basically, kind of a live journal.
Absolutely, absolutely. Uh, and then
Yeah.
I think the other uh, brutal advice, if or the other, I would say constructive advice I can give is something you need to focus on is. So I've mentioned about my technical edge, that I wanted to focus on the technical edge, but over a period of time, what you'll actually realize is that uh, you know apart from the technical edge, you need to have what I would call a mathematical edge in this game. And I'm talking
Yeah.
to prop firms. So
Exactly.
would suggest anyone to have this process in mind, where you should have a very good edge which gives you at least 50% win rate, and also couple that with a risk reward ratio of at least 1 is to 1, 1 is to 1.7, 1 is to 1.8 or 2. uh, if you can actually have both of those configured properly, as in a win rate of more than 50% and a risk to reward of 1 is to 1.2, or sorry, 1 is to 2, you would basically not blow your account if you have that mathematical edge with you. So if you're blowing accounts, focus on these 2 points, and fix that.
Perfect. So that's basically right. As we are talking about prop forms, particularly for the prop form traders, I've also observed this thing particularly that most of the traders they think it's the technical analysis which will make them profitable, but in actual reality, technical is not that much hard. It will not take you much time. The actual time, those years are usually taken by the psychological risk management and these mathematical calculation, which you will only find out if you will journal them.
Absolutely, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, and I think
Yeah, that's
people kind of confuse all of these things with discipline and patience. I think discipline comes with practicing the same thing on and on. Discipline is something that you won't get
yeah,
day one; you will get it at day 100. So if you can continue
exactly.
to focus on just losing a fixed amount every day, right? That will bring discipline. If you can focus on just getting those, you know, ratio of profits every day, that is going to bring discipline. If you're going to wait for your setup every day and wait for 10 days, 12 days constantly, that will bring patience. So discipline and patience comes after you start pushing yourself or forcing yourself to pick up a particular method and stay with that method for a long time.
That's true. So let's shift to the strategy and execution. The first question I have for you is what's your strategy like now? Like you can tell in a brief if you're fine with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so my strategy is something that most people don't do. But again, I think it's nothing secretive about it. What I do is
Yeah.
basically, I'm a trend trader. So I look for a trend, and then basically, once a trend starts off, I look for pullbacks in the trend and join the continuation party. The only difference is that I have coded my own, uh, you know, indicator, to call it that way, because that's how people kind of look at it. So I coded my own indicator. I learned how to code, and that was basically where I spent a lot of time fixing my edge.
Yeah,
And then basically,
that's right.
I use a 3 minute and a 15-minute chart to look for a trend on the 15 minute and pullbacks on the 3 minute chart. And then basically I trade, uh, you know, Nasdaq, S&P 500, gold, crude. I basically trade anything that moves, but my go-to charts are basically Nasdaq, gold. S&P and crude oil.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Most of the people think that it's the complicated system that's going to make them money, but it's not even this complicated system. It's mastering the any of the system. Either it is simple or it could be a complicated one. It's about mastering them. Most of the people thinks that they're going to play the game like a jack and they will be able to win a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of again to your point, I was hopping from system to system for a long time, and then I realized that
Yeah, just
don't need to hop from one to the other. I just need to stay with
mm,
okay and just make it my own. So you need to spend a lot of time with one system, learn the intricacies and the way it behaves over time, and that's how you kind of familiarize yourself, and that's how you build confidence in the system itself, and that confidence will allow you to basically become patient, become disciplined, and stay with that system for a long time.
as we say, simple sales,
Yeah.
and that's really right because fancy things we always run for the fancy things, and usually it fails.
Yeah, absolutely. So if I might kind of share a small secret about my system, it is based on the moving convergence divergence. It's nothing, no rocket science. MACD,
They say,
yeah, and MACD has been there since 1973 when it was first, created by someone in the stock market. And people
yeah,
often misuse MACD thinking that it's a very bad lagging indicator. But to be honest, I have made my money and I've thankfully left my corporate job thanks to MACD.
it's about what works for you. It's not even about the system. It's always, yeah, the one thing I have observed is the which is usually similar in traders. Different systems can work for you, but for the risk management and psychology mindset, you can inherit from other people, which most traders don't do. Rather doing that stuff, they rather go for those YouTube videos, that 15-minute scalping strategy, which hurts like a music to their ears and feels like them that it's going to make them hundreds, thousands of dollars, and they end up losing like three, four accounts.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there should not be I would say that you shouldn't really worry about blowing accounts. You should treat it as part of the journey. Uh, you know, it is like giving your tuition fees. You need to pay your tuition fees to learn and graduate. So in this sense, you should look at, spending time in the market,
Yeah,
using accounts. I mean, I think one thing that one should understand is that when I started, evaluations used to cost a bomb. Okay, not as cheap as what you get now. And it used
yeah,
to,
that's right.
and the parameters for passing evaluations were very, very high. Like, it would have been almost next to impossible to pass a top step challenge when it actually was originally the case. Today, you can pass the challenge very easily, right? So
Yeah, that's right.
you need to basically give time, but you need to not look at losses as losses. You should look at losses as data that you collect about your own performance and assess and reuse, review, and then kind of once you review how you're performing, amend the mistakes, and then carry on making more mistakes. To be honest, and then fix those as you go on with time.
As we know that even if we become profitable, loss is just part of the game of trading. So, how do you handle losses and like the loss streaks? You are continuously losing money in these days. How do you handle those situations, both psychologically and while trading also?
Yeah. So I think one of the parameters that I have fixed for myself is to basically have a certain amount of time per account. So, for example, there is a statistic that says that if you have a funded account, most people are able to only hold that funded account for probably 20 to 23 days. So, one of the statistics for me that I personally measure myself on is how long do I basically hold an account now. So, and that basically kind of impacts me emotionally, if I might call it that way. So if I can hold on to an account, if I hold on to an account for 30-40 days, then the probability of me withdrawing money from that is very high. But if I lose an account before that time, then I know that I've done something wrong. So losing an account, if it has passed 40, 45, 50 days, which is twice the normal time as per the industry average, then I'm okay with that. But if I lost an account within 15, 20 days, that's when I kind of look at what I did wrong and then how do I fix it. So emotionally speaking, I'm okay to lose as long as the account has kind of passed its expiry date that way. So I kind of give myself an expiry date of 30 days and 30 working days, and anything beyond that, I'm happy to lose, because ultimately the way the prop firm challenges are designed, you are going to blow the account someday. You're not going to keep it for life.
Yeah.
It-
Yeah, that's right.
yeah. So I just kind of look at it that way. I'm okay to lose, and it's part of the business. Frankly.
Exactly. Most of the people think this thing that if they are taking too much time with their account, even they are going like break even, they think they are not a good trader. They start to feel low. They start to do FOMO and they start to do the force trading part. Even their system is not happening. They take the trade because they feel like they trade will not never be able to make money. But it's just the opposite. If you're able to hold the account, go for it as much as you can, because for the beginners, it's the most hard thing for them in the beginning.
100%. I mean,
Right.
if you are able to hold your evaluation account, or if you're able to hold your funded account for over 25 days or over a month, I think you should take, you should pat yourself on the back and take it as a medal of honor, frankly. Whether you earned money or
Yeah, that's right.
that's an excellent achievement that any prop firm trader should actually be happy about it.
Mhm. How do you like do back testing? And if you do, so what's the best way to do it without wasting time?
Right. So, I mean, I wouldn't do too much of back testing, because, a static chart looks very nice, but it doesn't tell you the whole story.
Yeah.
A moving chart basically is, your emotions moving, or real time emotions during that time. But I would say the novel way of testing, which is what I do when I actually have to, if I have something major change, a major change or major test that I want to do on my funded account, or on my,
Yeah.
I would basically buy the cheapest platform. So, for example, there are Bullinox and Apex sales that give you 90% off at times. And I would basically buy that, $15, $17 account and do testing on that. So I use that method for testing my new ideas, rather than back testing or, shadow testing on my funded accounts.
Perfect. So let's come to the journaling, the habits, and all that routine stuff part. And my question is, do you journal? And if you do, what is the exact most important things you track in journaling?
I don't do too much journaling from an Excel sheet, word perspective. I usually record.
Mhm.
So I would either record my trade, or I would record myself at the end of the day, and comment on what I did right or wrong, and I store those videos privately on YouTube. So I would basically recommend anyone to record themselves, either live trading, or record the day, and put it on YouTube. Whether you keep it open public or keep it to yourself, different story. But I think that's the best way to record, and find a way to code certain trades, and then label them on your video file, so that you can.
Do you watch them later?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that is my favorite pastime. So I, on Saturdays or Sundays, I would go back and look at my videos, so that I can play back
Amazing.
the thinking. So I think looking at your own videos is something that I do regularly over the weekend.
That's a really good habit.
Yeah. I mean, again, it kind of
Do you think?
it comes from the
Mhm.
point where I used to struggle to present to people. So I used to record myself to improve my presentation skills. And I think that kind of,
Definitely, that also built a lot of confidence.
exactly.
So, do you think habits like gym and waking up early and all these things ties up like a lot in trading? Like trading is dependent on these things.
But it's always good to have, very good mental capital, or mental preservation and physical preservation, because
Mhm.
trading is nothing but an endurance sport. But I don't
Yep.
subscribe to the whole trader lifestyle, videos that are often published on YouTube. I don't think
Exactly.
every trader needs to have, bodybuilding and muscles, although it is always good to have it. There's no doubt about that. But I don't think there's any one thing that really differentiates traders from normal people, right? A normal person can.
Okay, it's not a necessity.
Exactly. But I think what really the point from all of those things is that if you can follow good routines, your brain starts understanding
Mhm.
the value of basically, fixing or not what we were discussing earlier, not jumping from one system to the other system. Basically, patience is developed through doing the right routing regularly and constantly and repeatedly. So all of those things like going to the gym or praying or chanting mantras or listening to good music helps you, form those routines, which again is very beneficial in trading. So I don't prescribe to a trader lifestyle video kind of a situation, but it is always good to have good habits. Okay.
Perfect. So let's come to the most important part for which we have made the video. That is the Section 5 brutal advice for the traders. So the main question here is, what is your most important brutal advice for the future traders who are the beginners or the amateurs or trading like 1 to 2 years in the markets?
I think the first brutal advice is, if you thought that you could make it quickly in trading, forget it. Right? If you have to be extremely lucky, like extremely lucky to survive and make it in terms of making money in the first year, second year, third year, right? I mean, by the time you would probably have reached year 3, year 4, you will start looking at some money, but it will still take you a long time. So if you have,
Consistency will take time.
it will take time, because screen time has no substitute. Okay, taking X number of trades has no substitute, and you will have to do that before you can actually make it big. At the same time, be patient. Just focus on yourself, focus on and believe in your system, and repeat and repeat and repeat. Don't change too much. If you have found something that works, don't leave it. Even though you get tempted with people around you, even if you are tempted with people who are talking about stuff on YouTube, if you have found it, shut out the noise, and just believe in the fact that it will pay off over a period of time, and you have to be patient about it. So don't have illusions about quick returns and quick success. It doesn't happen that way. You will fail, and you will fail more than you think you will fail. You will blow accounts, and that's perfectly fine. You will blow funded accounts, and that's perfectly fine as well.
Perfect. So here's my last question. Do you want to leave a message for the traders who are still watching till this point? I think it can be technical or related to raw form or risk management or any secret sauce you have.
I think I'll just repeat 2, 3 things, and it's again, those repetitions are actually important for my own stupid brain here as well. I think what I've mentioned to you earlier, Nixon, if you want to not blow an account, have a very good edge which has 50% of
Okay.
win rate, have a risk reward ratio or a daily loss and a daily profit ratio of 1:2, you will not blow your account. That's my
Specifically for the pro form traders.
for prop firm traders. And if you have prop firm rules, try to be one step ahead of those rules. So if a prop firm says that your daily loss limit is $1,200, you should put your daily loss limit as $600 or less. If you can play beyond the rules, you are more likely to succeed. So focus on those things.
Amazing. That's great. So that was all my questions I had. Guys, if you have any questions, you can just comment me down, because this amazing guy, will keep on coming to the upcoming videos. This was just the episode 1, and we'll keep on bringing new stuff, some other stuff. It's all about going to be future trading and all this stuff. So if you do trading and all this stuff, it would be perfect for you to just comment down the upcoming questions and just like this video. That would be helpful for me. And make sure to subscribe my channel. That's all I want to ask. So that was all for today. Really nice meeting to you, sir.
Likewise, Nixon.
And
Happy to talk to you.
amazing, sir. That was a great conversation we had today.
No problem.
It will probably help a lot of people. And that's all. I guess we'll meet again. Thanks a lot for coming. Bye bye.
Thank you.